Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about one of my very favorite things to do with my clients, which is writing out your ideal job description. Yes, you writing your ideal job description. This is an act of vulnerability for sure, but it's also an incredibly empowering exercise to do if you're thinking about making a career shift or looking for a new job. Let me tell you why it's so important. A lot of times clients will come to me and they know they want to make a change. They feel stuck. They're looking for a new job. They're looking for an overall career pivot, but they don't know where to start and they're not sure what direction they want to go in. I like to get really, really deep and granular with them on what it is they care about, what lights them up. Is it health and wellness? Is it healthy eating? Is it sustainable fashion? Is it aerodynamics, whatever it is? I want to understand what that looks like for them and then go really deep on that and get specific. So if someone were to say to me, health and wellness, what does that mean to you? Does that mean clean cosmetics? Does it mean clean beauty? Does it mean scents? What does that mean? Once we get clear on the types of organizations or companies that they're interested in, I like to talk to them about what that job description itself looks like. What is your title? How much money do you make? Do you have a team? If so, how big is the team? Are you hybrid? Are you remote? Are you fully work from home? What are you doing on a daily level? What are the projects you're working on? What are the things you are doing that you're incredibly proud of? So we get super, super specific on this. And then once we get to a place where we feel like the list is done for the most part, we go back and understand on that list, which of those things is negotiable. So for example, if you were to say, look, I have to earn $200,000 a year, I would say to you, great. So if you were offered a job for a company you were really excited about and the salary was 180, would you be willing to take it? Yes. Okay, so that bullet point becomes a negotiable for you. That's super important. So we go through, we decide what is a deal breaker, what is negotiable, and what we're left with is this job description that we now are going to go out and find for you. A recent client of mine had been at the same company for about 10 years, and she had not been promoted. There was a hiring freeze, a promotion freeze. She did not feel that she had a voice at the table when she contributed in meetings. Oftentimes other people took credit for her work, or her recommendations were just not honored. And she felt that the culture really didn't align with her values as a human being. Those were things that were really important to her as she contemplated making a change in her career. And those were things that we focused on in her ideal job description, that she wanted to be at a company that had the same values that she did, that valued diversity, that created a safe place for women to speak and for women to be heard. When she went through the interview process for a company that she really cared about, this woman is amazing. She's a marathon runner. She really cares about health and wellness. She's now working for a large company that does sustainable farming. She went through multiple rounds, and at the final round of the interview, she met with the CEO, and he said, why do you want to work here? What is it about this place? And why do you think this role is a good role for you? And she said, well, actually crafted my ideal job description before I even knew about this role. And it just sort of manifested it for me. I wrote it down. And he said, do you have it with you? She said, I do. It's in my bag. So she took it out and showed it to him. And he was just incredibly impressed that she had taken the time to do this, but also kind of bewildered that this whole thing had transpired, that the job that she had crafted for herself is the job she ended up getting. So there's an immense amount of power in knowing what you want and putting it out there. Because the other thing is, once you craft this ideal job description, it really paves the way for you to have conversations with people when you are open to entertaining a new opportunity. So for example, you reach out to one of your friends on LinkedIn, old colleague, hey, Jenny, long time no talk. I can't believe it's been 10 years since we worked together at Beachbody. I see you're over at Herbalife now. How's it been for you? I'd love to catch up over a coffee, virtual coffee. When you speak with that person, at some point the conversation will turn to you. So what's happening in your world? What are you up to? Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I've been at X, Y, and Z company for so long. And while I'm not actively looking, Herbalife sounds like a place I'd really love to be. Here's what I'm looking to do in my next role. The more that you can put that out there and get really comfortable saying it, the more it will find its way to you. So if you're contemplating a career change, if you're contemplating a big pivot, don't heed the advice of follow your passion, follow your dreams, because honestly, that was the worst career advice I ever got. I personally did not have a monetizable passion. I loved to volunteer at the animal shelter in LA, but that wasn't something that was going to pay my bills. If I could speak to that younger version of myself now, I would probably say, okay, so you're not going to be able to live in your apartment in Los Angeles through volunteering at an animal shelter, but animal rights, animal welfare is clearly important to you. Let's look at companies that do that, that champion that, and the types of roles that they hire for. And let's start having conversations and let's get clear on what you want to do. So part of why I got into this business in the first place is I want to be the person that I needed when I was in my 20s and 30s, just feeling completely lost and overwhelmed without professional direction. And I find that through writing this job description and getting a laser focus on what you want to do next is incredibly beneficial. Please reach out with any questions.